Imagine you're cleaning out an old attic. You find photos of your parents, your grandparents, and even your great-grandparents. The lineage is clear. You know where you came from. But then, tucked behind a floorboard, you find a diary. It's written in a language you don't recognize, describing a relative no one ever told you about. Someone powerful, someone strange, someone who, by all accounts, shouldn't exist. For over a century, the story of human evolution was a simple duo. It was us, Homo sapiens, and our rugged cousins, the Neanderthals. We were the protagonists, they were the side characters. But in 2010, the attic of human history was blown wide open. Deep in the Altai Mountains of Siberia, inside a limestone cathedral known as Denisova Cave, scientists found a tiny splinter of bone. It was no bigger than a pebble. If you saw it on the ground, you'd kick it aside. But that tiny fragment held a secret that would rewrite every textbook on Earth. It didn't belong to us. It didn't belong to a Neanderthal. It belonged to a ghost species, a group of humans who ruled Asia for hundreds of thousands of years, who survived ice ages and oxygen-starved peaks, and who, most shockingly, are still alive inside of you today. To understand the mystery, we have to go to the place where it all began, Denisova Cave. Located in the freezing reaches of southern Siberia, this cave has been a shelter for various species for nearly 300,000 years. It's a literal time capsule where the constant cold acts like a natural refrigerator, preserving the most fragile treasure in archaeology, ancient DNA. In 2008, Russian archaeologists unearthed a fragment of a pinky bone from a young girl aged between 7 and 12. They nicknamed her Deni. At first, they assumed she was just another Neanderthal. When the bone reached the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology, Dr. Svante Pääbo and his team began the painstaking process of sequencing its genome. What they found sent shockwaves through the scientific world. The DNA didn't match any known human group. To find a common ancestor between us and this girl, you'd have to travel back nearly 800,000 to 1 million years. Think about that. While our ancestors were still evolving in Africa and Neanderthals were settling in Europe, this third group was carving out an empire in the East. They were the third humans. But the mystery deepened, because while we had their entire genetic blueprint, every eye color, every disease resistance, every trait, we had no body. We had a ghost with a full DNA profile, but no face. While the biologists were stunned by the DNA, the archaeologists in the cave found something else that challenged our ideas of primitive humans. In the same layer of earth as the Denisovan fossils, they found jewelry, not just simple beads, but a stunning bracelet made of polished green chlorite.
This wasn't just a rock on a string. This bracelet showed signs of high-intensity drilling. The speed of the drill required to make such a clean hole is comparable to modern machinery. The stone had been polished to a mirror shine, and it was designed to reflect light in a way that would have been breathtaking 50,000 years ago. For years, mainstream science argued that only Homo sapiens, us, were capable of such artistic complexity. But the stratigraphy suggested it was Denisovan. If this is true, it means that while we were still perfecting basic stone tools, our cousins in the north were master craftsmen. They weren't cavemen in the way we imagine them. They were artisans, they were thinkers, and as we would soon discover, they were also the ultimate survivors. For a decade, Denisova Cave was the only place on Earth where we knew these people existed. Critics argued they were just an isolated tribe, a fluke of history.
until 2019. High on the Tibetan plateau, 10,000 feet above sea level, a Buddhist monk was meditating in the Baishia Karst cave. He found a heavy, strange-looking jawbone.
Modern Tibetans possess a unique gene called EPAS1. This gene regulates the body's production of hemoglobin, preventing the blood from thickening in thin air, a condition that causes heart failure in most people. Where did Tibetans get this gene? They didn't evolve it on their own, they borrowed it. Through interbreeding tens of thousands of years ago, Denisovans passed this superpower gene to our ancestors. Without the Denisovans, the colonization of the world's highest peaks might never have happened. We didn't just meet them, we merged with them.
But the question remained, what did they actually look like? In 2021, a new contender entered the ring, the Harbin skull, also known as Dragon Man or Homo longi. Found in China, hidden in a well for 80 years to protect it from invading armies, this skull is massive. It has a brain case as large as ours, but with square eye sockets and thick brow ridges. While some scientists call it a new species, many experts believe this is finally it, the face of a Denisovan. They were giants, they were robust, they were built for the cold of the north and the winds of the east. And they weren't just in China or Siberia. DNA evidence tells us they traveled much further south. When Homo sapiens reached the islands of Southeast Asia and Papua New Guinea, they met another group of Denisovans. Today, the indigenous peoples of the Philippines and Melanesia carry the highest percentage of Denisovan DNA on Earth, up to 5 or 6%. This tells us the Denisovans were an empire of the East, spanning from the frozen tundras of Russia to the tropical jungles of the Pacific. They were the shadow humans of Asia.
So, if they were so advanced, so widespread, and so physically powerful, why are they gone? About 40,000 years ago, the Denisovan signature vanishes. They're replaced by the relentless expansion of Homo sapiens. There are 3 theories. First, the replacement theory. We simply out-hunted them or brought diseases they couldn't survive. Second, the climate theory. A rapidly changing world destroyed the unique ecosystems they had mastered. But the third theory is the most poetic, assimilation. Maybe they didn't go extinct at all. Maybe they just faded into us. Every time a Sherpa breathes easily at the summit of Everest, a Denisovan is breathing with them. Every time an indigenous Australian uses their unique immune system to fight off a local fever, a Denisovan trait is at work. They aren't just a footnote in history, they are a living presence. We are a mosaic species, a patchwork quilt of different human lineages that found a way to survive together.
As we look back into the darkness of Denisova Cave, we aren't just looking at old bones, we are looking into a mirror. We used to think we were the only ones, the chosen ones. But the Denisovans teach us that humanity is a much broader, more beautiful category than we ever imagined. They were artists, explorers, and survivors who lived for hundreds of thousands of years before we even stepped foot out of Africa. The ghost species isn't a ghost anymore. We found their teeth, their jewelry, their jawbones, and their DNA. And soon, with the way LiDAR and genetic sequencing are advancing in 2026, we might find their cities.
If you found this dive into our hidden history fascinating, hit that subscribe button. We're currently tracking a new LiDAR discovery in the Amazon, a civilization that might be just as revolutionary as the Denisovans, and we're covering it next week. You won't want to miss it. What do you think? Were the Denisovans more advanced than we give them credit for? Or were they just another branch that couldn't keep up with our expansion? Let's talk in the comments. I'll be down there reading your theories. Thanks for watching.